but I don't drink now. Don't drink cocoa. Don't drink. That's for you. Okay. But I was drinking a couple beers just watching a phenomenon. And it was a big scam. What's a scam? What's a scam? That's right. And it's useful for our lesson because it has a sound we don't have in Chinese. Ready? 请跟着老师说 scam.
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 Scam. Okay. There's a big scam in New Orleans. And you can play this game too. Okay. These people come up. I can't say anything about them because I may get in trouble, but big tall people come up and they say, hey, I bet you $100 I can tell you where you got your shoes. I'll bet you $100 I can tell you where you got your shoes. Like I saw your beautiful cobra print. Maybe they're real, I'm not sure if they're print or not, but they're the cobra print, beautiful sandals you're wearing. Or not sandals, but slippers. I don't know the name.
Flat?
What are they called?
Flat.
Flats, I'm sorry. I don't know many women, thank God. I don't know, thank God. Trust me, I don't. Okay, so your beautiful flats, your beautiful shoes, right? It's called a flats?
I think so.
I don't know much about it. Okay, so anyway, these people come up to the drunk tourists and they say, I'll bet you $100 I can tell you where you got your shoes. And the tourists are drunk. And they're like, what? And he goes, I'll bet you $100 I can tell you where you got your shoes. And I don't mean Taiwan dollars, I mean US dollars, okay? I'll bet you 2,832 Taiwan dollars I can tell you where you got your shoes. And the people are drunk, and so they go, what? You can't tell me where I got my shoes. You can't tell me where I got my shoes. And what do the scam artists say? Well, basically what happens is, one guy says it to him, I say, I'll bet you $100 I can tell you where you got your shoes. And then their friends come up. Are you going to pay him? You going to pay him? He goes, yeah. If you can tell me where I got my shoes, I will pay him $100. You got $100? Yeah, it's right here. Take that. And what do they say? You got your shoes on your feet. Yeah, and I don't drink, but at the time I was drinking beer after beer, just sitting there going, I am in the wrong field. I should be a scam artist. Because I saw people after people. I saw a guy made like 30, I don't know, my math is not very good, 30 times 100, that much money in one night. Because basically the tourists are drunk, the guys are big, their friends come over, and they say, I'll bet you $100, for example, like this. But I can't do it with your coffee cup because it's not really applicable. I bet you $100 I can tell you where you got your sweater. And you say, what? And why is that a joke? Why is it a scam? Who can tell us why? Why shut up? Why? Because God has two meanings in English. God means to have, but it also means to buy. Right? And so if you want to be cool at your job, Samsonite, right? You can go and go, hey boss. Oh, sorry, I'm the boss. Hey worker, I'll bet you $100 I can tell you where you got your shoes. And they'll go, no you can't, no way. You say, you got your shoes on your feet. Is that funny? It's kind of cool, right? You gonna try it? Okay. Was that funny? Was that interesting? I hope. Okay. Don't give me a review. I would probably get a 3 out of 5, maybe. Sorry about that. Sorry about wasting all that. Wasting all your time. Okay. Anyway, I thought it was interesting because Irene,
Yes?
when I saw your shoes, I wanted to say that,
Sorry.
and that's why I started this, because I saw your shoes and I wanted to say, I'll bet you $100 I can tell you where you got your shoes.
I bet you $200 I think you can.
Okay. And where are your shoes? They're on your feet.
Oh, yeah, so I win your $200.
There you go, I got it right down. Pay her. Put it on its credit, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay, we got bananas for everybody, okay? Eddie, banana?
Yep.
How was your basketball game? Did you do well?
Pretty much.
Yeah? Did you score double digits?
That's my normal.
You scored triple digits?
No,
No, okay.
that's too much.
Okay, too much. Okay, so I made this copy for you guys, okay? And so this is what we're going to do today. We're going to look at this, okay? And also, like you know, I've been having a lot of fun with my podcast, and hopefully you guys watched it, and hopefully you force your employees to sign up, leave a review, okay? And it's called First Hand English, okay? In case if you heard that, it's kind of interesting. Okay, and so we're going to be talking about this, but we're also going to be talking a little bit about some other stuff as well. And one thing that I've been really interested lately is job interviews. Okay. And so we're going to talk a little bit about 3 common questions that people ask during a job interview. Okay? And before we start, can anybody tell us what, let me, as a teacher, let me just review before I erase the board. Let me just ask you, what's the Big Easy? Who can tell us? What is the Big Easy? Does anybody know? Did it go over your head? What's the Big Easy? Do you remember? Okay, what's the Big Easy? Exactly. That's another good job. Very good. Good job, Irene. Okay, the Big Easy is another way to say the city of New Orleans. What's another way to say Chicago? Do you know? The Windy City. The Windy City. Chicago is the Windy City. What's another way to say New York? The Big Apple. What's another way to say LA? La La Land. Right? What's another way to say Dallas, Texas? The Big D. The Big D. The Big D. Okay. Right. Okay, what's another way to, does Taiwan have these names? Kaohsiung is taco. Taco, right? Taco. And what about Taipei? What do you call Taipei? Taipei? The pressure cooker? Yeah, what do you guys do? What's another name for Taichung? Is there a name for Taichung? No? Okay. So anyway, New Orleans is the Big Easy. What's Bourbon Street? It's the street where the tourists go in New Orleans. Okay. Scam. What's a scam? It's when you cheat other people, okay? And for those of you who just got here, I'm always like doing the stand-up comedy for until about 7. Okay. There's a scam. Jonathan, can you tell everybody the scam about New Orleans? Good. Let me do it. The EMB is like, yeah, I paid a lot for this class. You're talking. You're talking, teacher. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna. 我代表他，我是他的发言人。Okay, I'm gonna represent Jonathan. Okay, Jonathan would say. The answer is. In New Orleans, which is also called the Big Easy, there's a street called Bourbon Street. And if you know this, it's really good to talk to foreigners because everybody knows Bourbon Street. It's a street where people go and they get drunk. And it's a tourist place. It's very beautiful. It's French design because that was before a French area. And then they sold it to America, to the U.S. Okay. So There's a lot of people who get drunk there, and there's a scam where people go up to the drunk tourists and they say, I'll bet you $100 I can tell you where you got your shoes. And they'll say, you can't tell me where I got my shoes. And then the friends come up and say, will you pay them? And they have maybe a knife. And they, you're going to pay them or we'll cut you. And they say, yes, I will pay them. I will pay them. And then they go, you got your shoes on your feet. Okay? And that's a scam. What it means is, it's not where you purchased your shoes, but you have your shoes on your feet. If you tell this to a native speaker, they'll think you're really cool. Or they'll think you're really stupid. Especially if you're filming this. Okay. So, we're going to talk about the 3 common interview questions. What are the most common interview questions? What's the first question of every interview? Exactly. But we don't say introduce yourself. We say tell me about yourself. Tell me. We don't, I mean, we would say introduce, but usually it's tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about yourself. What's the second common interview question? What are your strengths or weaknesses, right? What's another common interview question? Yeah. Why are you here? What's another one? Exactly. How do you solve problems? And a lot of it's called a behavioral question. They'll say, tell us when you had to make a split-second decision. When did you have to make a decision? When did you have to deliver bad news? Or, what was the worst project you ever did? Why? And what else? What else do they ask?
Worst coworker.
What's hitting?
Worst coworker.
Yeah, your worst. Yeah, how do you deal with your worst coworker? Or what's another question? Okay, with these kind of questions, this is the one they always ask you. And these questions here, they're called behavioral questions. Behavioral. They want to guess your behavior. Okay? And the way to answer them, it's called the STAR technique. The situation, the task, the action, and the result. Okay? Now, I know you all already have jobs and you're not interviewing, but if you ever have to give an interview, that's what's the situation, what's the task, what's the action, what's the result? Okay? Most people don't like task, they just put SAR, S-A-R. Situation, action, result. And this is really useful when you're talking to the people below you. Good. Oh, you're welcome. Okay. You're welcome. Sorry, I didn't get my hair cut yet, but I will. I promise you, I'm going to cut this mop. I'm going to cut my mop. Okay. So, and this is really useful when you're scolding. 你在骂你的这些小兔崽子不懂事的那个新来的那个魅惑。 配枪货呢？你在骂这些人呢？你骂他们的时候，you can say，你都不知道那个 star，你给我。When you speak to me, use star. Tell me the situation, tell me the task, tell me the action, tell me the result. 不要跟我讲什么有的没有的，我不想听的了。Okay? And so this is a really good way to train the people below you. And you can even draw a star on their forehead. Come here. I'm not going to do it to you, but I've done this before to people. They wanted to kill me. You draw a star.
Star.
Yes, star. A star. When you talk to me, you have to use the star technique. Because most people have too many words. And so, tell me the situation. Tell me what the task that was necessary. What was the action you took and what was the result? And if you can just do everything and work like a star, things are really efficient. Okay? And so
you showed a video preview. There is another term they call problem, PAR, problem action and so.
yes, yeah, PAR. That's probably even better, PAR.
Not bigger, but not more simple to remember that. Just because we always try to fix the problem, fix the issue in the work. So normally we ask the question, what kind of issue and problem you fix before, and how you do it, and who you call this.
Okay, well, one second. Let me take a selfie of this because. Okay, thank you. Okay, so Jonathan, could you tell us that again, please? Tell us again.
Normally when we interview, not only interview, but also have a review with the guy. We try to understand what he do.
He or she.
He or she did before. That's job interview. And we always ask what the problem or issue you have been managed. You have managed, and how you manage that, and how you overcome the issue, and who you call this, what kind of process you are doing, and why you said that this kind of solution is that, and if it is not enough, you said that the first time, how will you escalate to the manager or supervisor, or how will you get support to other people? So that was
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, that's even better. That's even more.
So maybe problem situation that we did is easy to remember the start.
Yeah, but I like PAR better.
No. I just watched the video you sent, so I
That's why I love you, man, because you watch the video. I know there's one person out there, there's one star who's making PAR. Do you know what it means to make PAR? Do you know PAR? Yeah. Do you know what PAR is? Does anybody ever play golf? Yeah, to be above par or below par. How do you say it in Chinese? Pinga. Pinga. I gotta be careful. I'm gonna say it the fourth tone. Pinga. Okay, pinga. Okay, so in English we say to be above par or below par. We say this a lot. And I want to teach you a lot of idioms. Okay? One thing I want to teach you is idioms. 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 Okay. Yeah, above par and below par. And we also say an idiom, par for the course. Par for the course. Pink. We say above par, below par. Par for the course. Do you know what par for the course means? That means for our field, for example, course is the golf course. And par, pinga, 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 pinga. Chochala pinga. Okay, par for the course, okay? And that's the regular, right? That's the regular amount you're supposed to hit, right? But par for the course in business means that's the way it is. For example, the best example is when you're doing a job interview or when somebody wants a raise. 加薪, what if they want more money? And they'll say, hey, my work has been above par. And you say, no, your work has been subpar. Okay, but I want more money. No, our pay is par for the course. Every single company pays the same. So, love it or leave it. You're fired. Right? Okay, so par for the course means the average for the field. Okay? And so these are a lot of the job interview things that I've been sending you. For example, tell us about yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Why are you here? When did you ever need to make a split-second decision? When did you have to deliver bad news? What's the worst project? Who's your worst coworker? Your worst coworker, right? Your worst teacher, can't even write. Okay? So, let me just ask you this. How would you answer one of these questions? Not why are you here, because that's not very applicable. Like, how would you answer strengths and weaknesses? Can you guys like get together with a partner and talk about how you think you would answer this ideally? Kaima. Okay. And we'll turn the camera off.
Thank you very much.
Okay, did you notice how I was really quiet for? Oh yeah, you can turn it on.
Okay.
Thank you. Did you notice how I was really quiet for a moment? And I know we've talked about this, but what I like to do when I'm on stage is I like to stand on stage until the people in the audience think you're nervous, and they feel nervous for you. But it's totally an act. I don't feel nervous at all. I'm just waiting for them to have empathy for me. To think, oh my God, he doesn't know what to say. Oh my God, he's a failure. Right? But inside I'm waiting for people to give me that empathy so I can shock them. Okay? And that's, I think, one of the greatest speaking tactics you can use, because it makes you look humble. Except for my posture's not good. If my posture were better, it'd be better. Okay. Okay, see how I stand there?
Thank you very much. Now, you probably read the abstract of today's lecture, that you probably didn't read it very carefully, maybe you're in a hurry, maybe there's many things to do. I want to first ask, has anyone here ever taught a class online? Have you ever taught a class online? Have you taught online before?
Okay, so I know you know this, but I'm just telling you. What I do when I give a speech is I stand quietly and I wait for people to get nervous. And as I do it, I read the crowd and I read who's going to be a problem person, who's not really listening, or who's in another world. And then I put my energy in that direction. And then I immediately engage the crowd. Immediately. And so suddenly they're the victims and I'm the guy with a microphone. And it's really powerful because they think they're just going to sit there and watch me talk. No way, baby. You're speaking. You come to my show, you'll speak it.
Anybody? Not the names, just a little bit? Okay. Okay. And anyone else? Does anybody else? Does anyone else, especially some?
Okay, so what I did here is I asked them if they ever taught online, just to know who my audience was. And the answer was no. And so suddenly, I gained power. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to say speaking is about power, but it's about power. Because you can be nervous, or you can make people nervous. And so what I did immediately was I stood there silently, didn't say anything, made them nervous a little bit. Oh God, this guy doesn't know what he's going to say. Or, oh, is he going to speak English or Chinese? I don't understand. What's going to happen? And they didn't really know. And then I immediately thanked them, which you have to do. Thanks for choosing me back. And then you ask them a question. And you sort of make them a little afraid that you're going to call on them because you have the power. And so then you find out, whatever, what's the power difference between you. And it's really useful if you want to control the audience. You've never, like, have you ever seen the new Samsonite? You've never seen this before? You work here? Oh boy. You guys are lucky you got me. Okay, so then,
Does anybody else in the TA?
and now I discovered they've never taught online, so now I'm just going to keep slicing at them with my knife. So, okay, never done that? Well, have you ever been a TA? You ever done this? And so now I'm making them think, wow, they're really going to learn something in this stupid talk. And then I make a joke.
Anyone else, especially someone in
I said, is there anyone else who's ever been a TA for an online class, especially if you're from Indonesia? And of course my TA is right in front of me, right? And so suddenly I did a lot of things there. I made the Indonesian guy feel valuable. And so I showed that I'm not as selfish as I really am, and narcissistic as I really am. I made it look like, wow, I'm praising this guy. And maybe an Indonesian would say, hey, that's cool. This guy's praising me, right? And so I'm instantly showing teamwork, okay? And I love this guy. He's a really good guy.
Has anybody else been a TA for someone? Is that you? Yes, it is you. Okay. So we have our TA for the course that we taught before behind us. And it's Orlando Colorado. And it's Ricardo. Okay. Now, you guys have not taught online before, so I'm really hoping that I'm going to be able to meet my goal, my mission, my purpose, my objective today.
Did you hear that? This is how you have to speak. These are 4 words I learned early on. I should erase something. Okay. When you learn it, if all you have to do is just learn these words. My mission, my goal, my purpose, my objective. And every time you give a speech, say these words one after each other. It's very powerful. My mission, my goal, my objective, my purpose. And you just spit it out at them. It's almost like you're hitting people. My mission, goal, purpose, objective. Today, I was going to show you the new oyster, Samsonite. Okay. Right. Okay. And so, and this is called, it's called repetition. Just say this when you work, like when you go to work tomorrow. My mission, my purpose, my objective, my goal today is to make you guys be less stupid than you were yesterday. Right?
Okay. Now, you guys have not taught online before, so I'm really hoping that I'm going to be able to meet my goal, my mission, my purpose, my objective today, which is to show you the
I'm not going to keep talking about myself because it's kind of stupid, but I just want to show you like the things that I think, and I know you know how to do this. But every single thing is practiced. And I know it's not a perfect suit, but the shoe, the movement like this, the boot, it's all on purpose. And what this is it's a control for the audience. Because I'm not standing like this. I don't have my hands in my pockets. And I'm not sitting there like I'm shy. I'm sitting with my boot like this, which is a very aggressive stance. And so the reason I'm doing that is just to show people that I'm the expert about this. My goal, my mission, my objective, my purpose to come here today. That's right. Is, right? And so what I'm trying to keep this power dynamic going.
goal, my mission, my purpose, my objective today, which is to show you from the teacher's perspective what it's like to teach online. But like everything, it's a story.
What did I say? Like everything, it's a story. Okay? And so everybody wants to hear stories.
My purpose, my objective today, which is to show you from the teacher's perspective what it's like to teach online.
Stop.
But like everything, it's a story. On February 17th, I was in my office, which is upstairs. And I was just sitting there looking out the window at 101, and I was just enjoying myself. It's about 8:30 in the morning. And I got a call from the account.
Did you hear what I said?
No.
Yeah, see what I'm doing is I'm planting seeds in their brain. Just like that girl. I'm saying, I was in my office looking at 101. It was in the morning, about 8:30. Because I knew they were filming this. And so the idea is like, wow, who comes to work at 8:30? Right? And then I said, I'm sitting there staring at 101.
Administration office. And it was the president. He said, are you at school? I said, of course I'm at school. What else would I be?
And so then I said, hey, Coco, we can turn this off. You want-
Okay.
Or fat girl, but fat guy. Okay. Why did I mention this? Do you remember? You have an interview, and you give an interview. Okay, what does it mean to carry heat? Have a gun. Okay, fatso is a large person, but it's not very polite. Don't say it. Don't teach it. Sorry. Don't film it. Sorry. Okay, you have an interview means you're doing an interview. Give an interview means you're administering an interview. Reported speech, what's that? You remember? It's basically, Hank said that his problem or his weakness was he was too kind. Ipso facto, therefore, it was hard for him to push people in his team. Ipso facto, he created a friendly approach which turned him into the Tasty Boss. Fried chicken juice, bread, stinky tofu, pizza, and dumplings. Okay? And after that, that's pretty much all we did there. Apples and oranges. What does that mean, apples and oranges? Okay? And I told Hank for his presentation tomorrow he could use that because he's comparing his product to Apple. And apples and oranges means like for example, like if I have two good pens, I say apples and oranges. This is black, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's a way to compare two things. Okay? So, these are the words that people usually don't say. 请跟着我说 problem. Problem. Usually. Months. Good. If you have any new words, you can tell us, okay? And we can talk about them, okay? Okay? Because I need to know these other things like this. Okay, so now I want you to get in your group. People next to you, practice the Dr. J's link speech dance and the dialogue. And I'm going to zip the lip. What does that mean, zip the lip? That means to shut up. Zip the lip. Let me teach you this other phrase. My grandmother always said this, although my grandmother's not French. In English, we like to say Latin and French to sound cool. My grandmother always said this because not my Norwegian grandmother, but my North American U.S. grandmother. She'd always say, fermez la bouche. Fermez la bouche. And that means shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. And this, we also say zip the lip. And if you want to sound, you hear this in the movie, shut your pie hole. They say this a lot in the movie. Your pie hole. That's where you eat pie. I don't know why they say that. Shut your pie hole.
Shut your pie hole.
Yeah, it's not a bad word. People say that in movies a lot. Especially like Matt Damon. Shut your pie hole. Okay, good. So I'm going to shut up, get the person next to you, practice Dr. J. Link speech dance and the dialogue. Next week, Coco's going to, Coach, were you recording?
Yes.
Yeah. I said the bullshit? Oh no, I'm gonna be fired! Hang me! I'm gonna be hanged! No! Yeah, we got this. Posture. Superman, lift it up. Okay. As a teacher, I always have to correct people, and if I go to the airport, everything's fine until they say, "Do you have any luggages?" I have to correct the person picking me up, because that's my job. Mission, goal, objective, purpose, life mission. 成就感. Okay. Okay. So, what's the plural of luggage? Yeah, good job. Luggage. There is no plural of luggage. Okay, let's read it again on film real quick. So Dylan, did you have a good flight? Well, to be honest, it was too long. Really? Did you have any connecting flights? Yes. First, we flew to Paris. And then, we changed flights. Again. In Hong Kong. It was only 2 hours. But the entire trip took 20 hours. Oh, that is a long trip indeed. Okay, now he's had men. So you know he's flirting. I wrote this, and so there's always hominyo nento. You know me, right? You know me. It's going so do you like to fly? So, do you come here often? So he's like, so, do you like to fly? Frankly, I don't like to sit for so long in one place. And then he goes, and then Amanda's a, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Okay. And so this whole idea is kind of like she's feeling the magic, and she's kind of lost in love, and she's like, oh, I can't sit for so long in one place. And he's like, I totally agree with you, girl. And then she's like, oh, okay, let's go get your luggage now. Let's go get your luggage now. Luggage. Now. Let's go get your luggage now. And then he says, my foreign teachers loved all my dialogues because they know what I'm thinking. He goes, thanks again for coming to pick me up. Because pick up has two meanings, of course, right? Like 接我, the other one is, how do you say it? Like 钓我. Yeah, 大象, 我中文不好. Okay, and so this is a really cool dialogue. Okay, so who else wants to, we're going to turn off the camera. Who wants to be in front and read it? Get the microphone.